Most people believe that to achieve greatness, you must feel a burning passion every single day. But the most successful emperor in Roman history woke up many days feeling completely exhausted and uninspired, yet he conquered the known world and wrote a masterpiece of philosophy. He did not do this by waiting for motivation. He used a very specific, invisible system to force himself into action. What he understood about the human mind destroys everything modern gurus tell you about finding your passion. I am going to show you his exact system today. But first, you have to understand why relying on your feelings is a guaranteed path to failure. Feelings are incredibly temporary. They are nothing but chemical reactions in your brain that change depending on how much you slept, what you ate, or what a stranger said to you yesterday. If your financial future and your ultimate success depend on how you happen to feel on a random Tuesday morning, you are in terrible danger. You are building a massive stone castle on a foundation of loose sand. The ancient Stoics saw this trap clearly. They realized that men who ruled empires could not afford to wait for inspiration to strike them. They needed an invisible, unbreakable system. This system is called pure discipline. It is the cold, calculated choice to do what you must do, regardless of your emotions. Let us break down the 10 rules of this ancient system so you can finally stop relying on motivation and start building real, untouchable power. Rule number 1. Stop trusting your feelings. Modern society worships emotion. Gurus tell you to follow your heart and only do things that make you feel alive. This is terrible advice if you want to be truly successful and wealthy. The Stoics knew that your feelings will constantly lie to you. When you wake up tired, your brain tells you that you need more rest. When a business project gets difficult, your fear tells you to quit and try something much easier. If you trust these feelings, you will remain weak forever. Discipline begins the exact moment you realize your emotions are not giving you facts. They are just making suggestions, and you have the supreme power to say no. Marcus Aurelius did not feel like fighting brutal wars in the freezing mud, but he did it anyway. He completely separated his duties from his desires. You must do the same. Treat your feelings like noisy passengers in your car. They can talk all they want, but they are absolutely never allowed to drive. Rule number 2, build an iron routine. Motivation wakes up and asks what it feels like doing today. Discipline wakes up and asks what the schedule dictates. To defeat your own natural laziness, you must remove the need to make decisions. Decision fatigue is a very real psychological trap. If you have to choose to work hard every single day, your brain will eventually choose to rest. You need a strict iron routine that tells you exactly what you must do and when you must do it. The Stoics believed in strict order. They believed that by structuring your physical day, you structure your inner mind. Write down your tasks the night before. When you wake up, you do not think. You do not debate with yourself. You simply execute the plan. It does not matter if it is raining outside. It does not matter if you are sad. The routine is your ultimate authority. When you submit to the routine, you free yourself from the agonizing burden of relying on motivation. Rule number 3, action creates the mood. The biggest lie you have ever been told is that you need to feel good to start working. You think that inspiration must strike you like lightning before you can sit down and create something valuable. The ancient philosophers understood a massive hidden paradox. You do not wait for the mood to start. You start, and the physical action actually creates the mood. Think about pushing a heavy stone wheel. Pushing it for the first few seconds is incredibly difficult. You have zero momentum, and your muscles burn. But once the wheel starts turning, it suddenly becomes lighter. Your work operates the exact same way. If you force yourself to sit at your desk and work for just 10 minutes, the heavy dread disappears. The passion you were waiting for suddenly arrives. Discipline forces the body into motion, and the mind is eventually forced to follow along. Rule number 4. Divorce the result from the effort. Motivation is extremely fragile because it always demands a quick reward. If you go to the gym for a week and do not see bigger muscles, your motivation dies. If you start a business and do not make money in the first month, your passion vanishes. This happens because you are deeply attached to the result. The Stoics used the famous metaphor of an archer to explain true discipline. An archer can draw his bow, focus his eyes, and release the arrow with absolute perfect technique, but a sudden gust of wind can blow that arrow off course. The archer does not control the target, he only controls the shot. You must completely divorce your mind from the results. Do not work hard just to get rich. Work hard because working hard is the right thing to do. When you stop obsessing over the immediate reward, your discipline becomes a limitless source of energy. You can fail 10 times and wake up the next day ready to fire another arrow. Rule number 5. Embrace the power of monotony. Greatness is actually very boring. We see the final glorious victory of a champion on television, but we do not see the thousands of lonely, silent hours of repetitive practice. Motivation absolutely hates boredom. It constantly wants new shiny things, new ideas, and new excitement. This is why most people start a new project, get bored after a week, and immediately jump to something else. The Roman philosopher Seneca warned against this exact behavior. He wrote that a plant which is constantly moved can never grow deep roots. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Discipline is the ability to do the exact same boring tasks every single day without losing your sharp focus. You must learn to fall in love with the monotony. Real wealth is built by mastering the daily repetitive grind that average people run away from. Rule number 6, punish your inner victim. We all have a soft, weak voice inside of us. It is the inner victim. It tells you that life is too hard, that you are a special case, and that you deserve a long break. When you rely on motivation, you are letting this victim win the war. To build discipline, you must aggressively punish this voice. When Marcus Aurelius felt completely overwhelmed by his massive duties as emperor, he did not coddle himself. He spoke harshly to his own mind. He reminded himself that he was a human being, not a fragile plant. When your mind says you are completely exhausted, it is usually lying to protect you from discomfort. You have a massive reserve of energy that you have not even touched yet. The next time your inner victim begs you to stop working, push 5 minutes longer. Prove to yourself that the voice is a liar. Over time, that weak voice will become entirely silent. Rule number 7. Measure your life in days. Looking at a massive 10-year goal can completely destroy your motivation. The mountain looks too high to climb. You feel defeated before you even take the first step. The Stoic solution to this massive problem is to drastically narrow your vision. Seneca taught that we should treat every single day as if it were a separate, complete life. Do not worry about what you have to do next year. Do not worry about the massive empire you want to build. Just win today. Can you be disciplined for the next 12 hours? Yes, you certainly can. You wake up, you execute your routine perfectly, and you go to sleep. When you wake up the next morning, you simply do it again. By shrinking your focus down to a 24-hour window, the massive mountain becomes just a series of small, easy steps. Discipline is simply stringing together enough good days until you win. Rule number 8. Endure without complaint. Complaining is the absolute enemy of discipline. When you complain about how hard your work is, or how unfair the market is, you leak precious mental energy. You are telling your brain that you are suffering, and your brain responds by shutting down your motivation to protect you. The Stoics practiced the high art of silent endurance. Epictetus taught that you should never let anyone hear you groan, and you should never groan inwardly either. Whatever heavy burden you are carrying right now, carry it in total silence. Complaining does not make the heavy weight any lighter. It only makes your shoulders weaker. When you stop complaining, you accept reality exactly as it is. This calm acceptance gives you the cold, hard discipline needed to actually fix the problem, instead of just crying about it. Rule number 9. Expect betrayal from your body. You must accept that there will be days when your body physically rebels against you. You will get sick, you will sleep poorly, you will feel heavy and incredibly slow. People who rely on motivation look at these bad days as a sign from the universe that they should stop and rest. A disciplined person expects the body to be weak, but refuses to let the mind be infected by it. A Stoic completely separates the flesh from the spirit. Your body might be tired, but your mind remains a sharp, commanding general. Even if you can only give 50% of your normal effort on a sick day, you give that 50% with absolute perfection. Showing up on the worst days proves to your subconscious mind that you cannot be broken by physical discomfort. Rule number 10. Character is built in the dark. Motivation thrives on loud applause. It loves an audience. It is easy to work hard when people are watching you and praising your effort. But what happens when no one is looking? What happens when you are working late at night in a silent room and nobody cares? This is where motivation completely starves to death, and this is where discipline rules supreme. The Stoics believed that true character is what you do when you are entirely alone. You do not work hard to get likes, comments, or praise from the crowd. You work hard because you have a deep, unbreakable respect for your own soul. You refuse to be lazy because you refuse to disrespect yourself. When you build this kind of profound self-respect, you no longer need anyone to cheer for you. You become your own endless engine. If you want to achieve greatness and build lasting wealth, you must murder your desire for motivation. You must stop waiting for a fleeting feeling to save you. Build your iron routine. Do the boring work in silence. Ignore your weak emotions. If you have the discipline to read this far, you have the exact mindset required to completely change your life. Show your commitment to the path by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel right now. Tell me in the comments below which of these 10 rules of discipline you are going to start using today. Keep moving forward, and the success you desire will be impossible to avoid.